Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone. How are you today? I hope all of you are doing well. So, welcome to today's English lesson. Before we begin, let's look at this picture. Okay, I'll show you the picture. Okay, can you see? Okay, thank you. So, I have three questions for you. First, what can you see in the picture? Huh? Okay. Second, have you ever joined this competition? Good. And the last question, what competition are usually held on Independence Day in Indonesia? Great. Now please take a moment to think about your answer. Yeah, many competitions are held during Indonesia Independence Day celebration, right? Some examples are sack races, tug of war, marble and spoon races, and one of the most exciting competition is alright, Panjat Pinang. Besides being fun, Panjat Pinang also teach us important values such as teamwork, persistence, cooperation, and never giving up. Got it? Now, let me ask you another question. If you wanted to tell your friends about your experience after joining one of these competitions, how would you tell the story? Would you talk about what happened yesterday, last week, or last year? Of course, you will tell an event that happened in the past, right? So that is about past experiences or events. It's called as a recount text. So today, lesson, we learn how recount text helps us retell experiences that happened in the past. Yeah. We will use a story about an Independence Day competition entitled The Champion of Panjat Pinang. By the end of this lesson, you will able to understand what a recontext is, identify its structure, and improve your listening skills by listening the story entitled The Champion of Panjat Pinang. After listening to the audio, you will answer 10 comprehension questions based on the story. Now, let's begin with our first topic, introduction to recontext. So, what is a recontext? Yeah, a recontext is a text that retells past events in the order they happened. It tells about what happened, when and where it happened, and who was involved. In other words, a recontext is used to share experiences or events that have already happened. It helps the reader or listener understand a sequence of events from the beginning until the end. For example, you may want to tell your friends about your holiday, your birthday celebration, your school trip, or your experiences joining an Independence Day competition. Since these events happened in the past, yeah, they can be all they can all be written or told as recount text. Because recontext talks about past events, they usually use the simple past tense. That is why you will often, find verbs such as went, joined, played, climbed, helped, won, celebrated, and so on. Yeah. Now, you may be wondering, why do we need to study a recontext? Yeah, that's a really good question. Yeah. We need to study recontext because it helps us tell stories about our past experiences in a clear and organized way. Yeah. By learning recount text, we also learn how to organize, yeah, how to organize events in the chronological order. Use the simple past tense correctly and communicate, I mean, our experience more effectively. Got it? And then the context is very useful when we write or tell stories about our holidays, for example, school activities, competition, family trips, or other important moments in our life. Got it? Yeah. Besides understanding the definition of a recon text, it is also important to know that there are different types of recon text. Yeah. There are three types of recon text. The first is personal recon. What does it mean? A personal recon tells about someone own experiences. For example, telling a story about holiday, your birthday celebration, or your experience joining an Independence Day competition. Got it? The second is factual recon. A factual recon, yeah, presents real events, yeah, or factual information. Got it? Yeah. Um, Also, it's commonly used in news reports, historical events, scientific observation, or police report. The purpose of perpetual recount is to inform the reader about what actually happened. And the last is imaginative recount. Yeah, an imaginative recount tells a fictional story, yeah, as if the writer or speaker personally experienced it. Yeah, although the event are imaginary, the story is still told, I mean, in the form of a past experience. Got it? And today lesson will focus on personal recount because the listening passage, the champion of Panjat Pinang tells the experience of students participating in an Independence Day competitions. Got it? But here another question for you. Yeah. How can we organize a recontext so that it is clear and easy to understand? Or maybe you may ask, how do we write or tell a good recontext? Yeah. To answer that question, every recontext follows a simple structure consisting of three main parts. Yeah. The first is orientation. Yeah. In the orientation, it introduces the background of the story. It tells us what happened, who was involved, where the event happened, and when it happened. Got it? The second is events. The sections explains what happened uh, are presented. I mean, the events are presented in the chronological order. So the reader or listener can easily follow the story from the beginning to the end. And the last is reorientation. What does it mean? Reorientation is the closing, yeah, of the story. It usually tells the writer or speaker feelings, yeah, opinions, or reflection about the experience. Got it? Okay, now let's look at a simple example. This I have three sentences. The first is, last August, my classmates and I joined a Panjat Pinang competition at school. Yeah, this sentence is the orientation because it tells us who participated, where the competition took place, and when it happened, right? And the second is our team worked together, encouraged one another, climbed the slippery pole, and finally reached the top. Yeah, this is the event section because it describes the sequence even during the competition. Finally, yeah, the last sentence, we were very proud because our teamwork helped us become the champions. Yeah, this is the orientations because it expresses the feeling at the end of the experience. Got it? Now that you have already understand recontext, let's continue with today listening activity. Yeah, for this lesson, yeah, you will complete a listening practice entitled "The Champion of Panjat Pinang." Yeah, to access this activity, simply just copy paste the link that I give. Yeah, you may see on the screen here. Yeah, once the page, okay, I'll stop it. I will share another. Okay, share another screen. Okay, here's once the page opens, yeah, you will see the title of the listening test, yeah, the number of the sequence, the number of questions, and the duration of the activity. Yeah, this listening practice consists of 10 multiple choice questions, and you will have 10 minutes to complete the test. Yeah, before you begin, yeah, please enter your full name here, for example. Yeah, your full name here and your email. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and after filling in your information, click the start button to begin the activity. Yeah. But before, once the task starts, you will see an audio player at the top of the page, and then just click play button and listen carefully to the story. And remember, the story in is an example of personal recount. Yep, because it tells about the experience that happened in the past. Yeah, and while listening, yeah, pay attention to the main idea, the sequence of events, and important details. Yeah, after listening to the audio, read each question carefully and choose the best answer based on what have you heard. Yeah, if you are not really confident with your answer, you may continue to the next question and return to it later using the question navigation. Yeah, just refresh here. Nah, just play the question, the audio, I mean.
Today you will do a listening task as you're complete for this course. Directions. In this part, you will hear and talk about a past experience. After the talk, you will answer several questions. Choose the best answer, A, B, C, or D. Now listen carefully to the talk and answer questions 1 through 10. The champion of Panjat Pinang last August 17th. My school held several competitions to celebrate Indonesia's Independence Day. One of the most exciting events was Panjat Pinang, a traditional climbing competition. It was held in the schoolyard, and many students gathered to watch. My group, the Red Eagles, joined the game with full spirit. At first, we felt nervous because the pole was very tall and slippery. The surface was covered with oil, so it was difficult to climb. When the whistle blew, our team started carefully. Rudy stood at the bottom to hold our balance, while Beamer and I tried to climb higher. Several times we slipped down and had to start again, but we didn't give up. The audience shouted and cheered for us, Go, Red Eagles, you can do it. After many attempts, we finally reached the top. I grabbed the red and white flag and some prizes such as snacks, shirts, and a small trophy. Everyone clapped and smiled proudly. We were so tired, but our hearts were full of happiness. That day was unforgettable for all of us. We learned that teamwork, patience, and strong determination could lead us to victory. Winning the game was not just about the prizes, but about the spirit of togetherness and celebrating our independence with joy.
Yeah. Don't forget to check your answer. Yeah. Let's begin.
Hello, my beloved students. Today you will do a listening task as you're complete for this course. Directions. In this part, you will hear a talk about a past experience. After the talk, you will answer several questions. Choose the best answer A, B, C, or D. Now listen carefully to the talk and answer questions 1 through 10. The champion of Panjat Pinang last August 17th. My school held several competitions to celebrate Indonesia's Independence Day. One of the most exciting events was Panjat Pinang, a traditional climbing competition. It was held in the schoolyard, and many students gathered to watch. My group, the Red Eagles, joined the game with full spirit. At first, we felt nervous because the pole was very tall and slippery. The surface was covered with oil, so it was difficult to climb. When the whistle blew, our team started carefully. Rudy stood at the bottom to hold our balance, while Beamer and I tried to climb higher. Several times we slipped down and had to start again, but we didn't give up. The audience shouted and cheered for us. Go, Red Eagles, you can do it. After many attempts, we finally reached the top. I grabbed the red and white flag and some prizes such as snacks, shirts, and a small trophy. Everyone clapped and smiled proudly. We were so tired, but our hearts were full of happiness. That day was unforgettable for all of us. We learned that teamwork, patience, and strong determination could lead us to victory. Winning the game was not just about the prizes, but about the spirit of togetherness and
Okay. If you
celebrating.
already done, yeah, the task, just click submit. Just submit this selesai ujian button. Yeah. And you'll see the grade. I get 100. Okay, class. Yeah. Today, yeah, we learned that a recon text has three main parts. Yeah, orientations, event, and orientation. Yeah, we also learned that recon text usually use the simple past tense. Yeah, and time order words to help us tell a story clearly and in the correct sequence. Yeah, and through the listening activity, the Chamber Panjat Pinang, we not only practiced our listening, yeah, but also learned important values such as teamwork, passion, uh, perseverance, and togetherness. Yeah, I hope today's lesson helps you become more confident in understanding, telling, and writing stories in English. Yeah, thank you for your nice attention and participation. See you in the next lesson. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.